What's up, swing traders? Today is a bit of a special one for me. I want to open up about something, and of course, I've got a watch list. There's chapters if you want to skip ahead, but I want to say a couple things here before we get started. Today, I went over 500 subscribers, and might not sound like a lot, right? But for me, it's validating. I know that I have an edge, right? But the decision to turn on the camera and share it, to see people connect with it, just simply by subscribing. But a lot of it is coming through emails and some feedback in Bootcamp, and this most recent Saturday live session, just some really positive feedback came out of that. And so, I just want to open this one with a thank you. Seriously, I do mean it. I don't want to get all mushy, but I want to say that I thank each and every one of you that are not only subscribing, but just watching and coming back. And, I've said this before, but really this, I'm so grateful that I did finally turn this camera on, and this has given me an outlet to share what I love, okay, that I can talk endlessly about, and I do have something of value to share. So I'm so glad I made that decision, but I'm so glad that it's resonating. And again, I'm just very, very thankful to every single one of you. 500 is, kind of the first milestone that I was looking for. I did some research, and it does seem that the channel is growing faster rate than typically you see in this niche. What I'm seeing is that 500 number, if ever to come, does typically take 18 to 24 months. So to be there in just over four is exciting. And again, very, very grateful. Thank you guys so much. And to touch on a few other things, yesterday, my email, I woke up this morning to a lot of emails. I'm starting to see a lot of the same questions as I have for a little while now. I'm working on something on the site guys, I have an offer. I have a boot camp, okay? It is my internal community. I teach all 6 of my models, my risk management, how I read market breadth, but more importantly, I work with people directly, one-on-one. And that takes a lot of time on my end, and I love it. So I didn't know that I was going to be a good teacher, right? If a coach or whatever this is becoming, I knew I had something of value to share, but I didn't know my ability to articulate it, make it resonate, whatever it may be, to teach it, okay? And it's working, okay? It's going really well. And, people are reaching out, and you guys have been asking me questions, and people want maybe trials or payment plans, whatever it may be. I'm doing all of that, okay? It's my developer is building me a new site, and all of those things are coming, right? There's going to be a trial. There's going to be a way of splitting the payments up, whatever. But all of those things cost me money to offer. So my price is going up, okay? And I just want to be quick about this. Like, you guys should know by now, I am not overly pitchy at all on this channel, but what I want to offer, because today is special to me, 500 is special. Anyone who's been hanging, if you're considering reaching out, or you'd like to, maybe you're still thinking about working with me, reach out to me. And anyone who was part of this first push, this first 500, I will respect the current price, which is $500, okay? I will respect that. The price is increasing in the next about week, about 35%. But anyways, what I want to offer to anyone who has been hanging out and is thinking about working with me, just email me, warrensnacks@gmail.com. You don't have to say anything you don't want to say. Just say, hey, one of those first 500, and that'll be a signal for me. I mean, say whatever you'd like to say. Ask me whatever you'd like to ask. So that's my offer, guys. I know there are some people that are considering, okay, and I just want to extend that offer. So if you want to reach out, just say whatever it is you'd like to say, and it will initiate that conversation that we can refer back to should you ever choose to pull the trigger, and I'll honor that price. Okay, so that's all the sales I want to talk about here today. I do want to talk about something I find a little bit more important. Some things, again, a lot of the feedback, the comments, the emails, the direct messaging and things, working with people in Bootcamp, whenever I start to see something more than one time, I know it's something I need to address, because I know others are feeling it. And especially when it's something that I have felt before. I want to talk about fear, okay? The markets are dangerous. That's what you're led and believed to think. And sure, of course, the markets can be inherently risky. Absolutely, I'm not denying that. But for me, a big pivot point was when I actually eliminated my fear of the markets. I don't fear the markets. I look at the markets as an opportunity. I am the risk, okay? I am the danger. I am the one that can fuck this up, okay? I have a system. I have an edge, clear data that All I have to do, it is if this, then that, I outperform, okay? So the only thing that can mess that up, because this is so structural, it's how the market moves. Look at the triple R on any leader anytime, right? Like this stuff repeats, like the edge is solidified. So I'm the only one that can oversize, overtrade, not respect breadth, fuck it up, okay? So I've gotten to a place where I'm comfortable with fear, but you guys probably know, you've heard me say that before, the learning moment that I want to try to deliver here is scale it back, okay? A lot of that comes from oversizing, and when you oversize, you need the trade to work. And if you're spinning your tires in the market and you're looking to just get traction and start to believe in this and depend on it, right? Imagine if you want to go full time or you want to make trading your source of income. It is for me. It's my main source of income for years now. Yeah, I have other things going on, right? But like I rely on my trading for the growth of my family, right? Like this shit matters. And I depend on it and I can depend on it. That comes from the structure that I built. It's why I have a risk profile and I match it to the market risk profile, but it's why I have my personal risk profile, because that helped me to eliminate fear, because I can't fuck it up if I follow this, right? There are things in place that I can't go on tilt. As long as I stick to my risk profile, I will never take too much damage as to set me back or even come close to blowing me up. Like that's off the table. So that is what the fear comes from, right? It's not that hard to understand these concepts and these models that I talk about every single day, especially if you come and do deeper learning. But like the concepts themselves are not what's difficult. It's the self-control, the discipline, the proper risk management, all of those things. That is what is difficult, okay? Because you see opportunity and you want more, or you want things to happen too fast, whatever it may be, right? There's mental things that we have to get through to become better traders. That is a big part of it. What I'm saying in a lot of words is if you're struggling, size the F down, way down, okay? Stop thinking you need this now. You're trying to build a life skill that can give you freedom forever. What's the rush? Get it. Become convinced in what you have and scale it up as you have that data, that conviction in what you're doing. You understand the numbers, okay? It becomes an if, this, and that mechanical process that you're just executing, okay? It's not about me. It's not about what I think. I am just executing the process. Sure, there's a little nuance. I need to pick the right sectors to be in, but I do the same thing over and over and over and over again when I identify that confirmed strength and weakness, right? I'm not thinking anymore. I know where that fear comes from, okay? It's from needing this to work. And if you need it to work too fast, like that's your own private thing, right? Like maybe don't jump in before you're ready. But I'm telling you, if you're fearing the markets, sure, some of it might be that you're not convinced in your model or what you're trying to do. Maybe you don't even have one, right? But a big part of that I know is you're oversizing and you need the trades to work and you're trying to get there too fast. Again, take a step back and understand what you're creating. You're creating freedom. And that takes time and commitment and belief in what you're doing, all right? And you won't get there if you take yourself out. So scale it back and build conviction in your process. Build a data set that you can rely on and then see where things go from there. So that's enough. I don't want to rant anymore, but a couple things I felt passionate to share here today. Let's jump in. We had a good day in the SPY, closing back above prior all-time highs. Now, before we get too heavy into this list, I am very unlikely still to take new positions before we get the Mag 7 clarity because I think it's going to move the markets, okay? And I want to know which way that is. I'm not going to guess, right? I don't know the reaction to the Mag 7 earnings, and the memory stocks are reporting Thursday after the bell as well. I think that's going to be a big momentum indicator for us in the markets, right? Like SanDisk is leading the market higher this year. It's the hottest stock in the S&P 500. So I want to see how these things shake, right? It's going to be a good tell. If we break out, okay, I've been talking about confirmation a lot. That's okay. It's okay with me to let things break out and go. That's a good sign. I don't have to be a part of that move. Let it pull back and confirm, and then we're working with probabilities, all right? And that is the best that we can do in these markets, is stick to the edge and work with your probabilities that you have identified, your edge, okay? So it's all good if the market breaks out on us. when it pulls back, if it holds structure and then re-triggers, we're going to get aggressive to the long side, okay? But there's still the threat that we get a negative reaction, right? Like if we pop up today into all-time highs and then some of these earnings start coming out Wednesday, Thursday, and we roll again, then, I'm protecting my capital for that scenario, because guess what? I don't know, and neither do you. You don't know the reaction to this very significant earnings quarter, based on where we are structurally and the fact that we're trying to break out of this churn. We just haven't done it. We need a positive catalyst, right? And it could be getting tech back to all-time highs, at least getting some fall through. Let's look at Qs here. At least breaking this range and beginning to build above. What is the issue with waiting for that, guys? That would be putting probabilities and the momentum of the market at your back. It's what you want to do, okay? Use the market to move your capital higher. Don't try to guess before these things align. IWM, listen, this can absolutely pull back and make a higher low and still be very healthy for the market. Look at the ripper that it's been on. All right, pullbacks are healthy. Retracement, reaction, remount. We look for pullbacks. I want things to pull back. We'll talk about that a little bit here today, specifically in the resources sector. Not the best day yesterday, but great pullback, hold structure, and let's get after it, right? Re-trigger, retracement, reaction, remount, trigger, let's go make some money. All right, so I would love to see the resources sector cool off a little bit, pull back and hold structure. I'm jumping ahead just a little bit. I want to pull up our market breadth indicators, guys. If you want these charts, just holler at me. I can drop it in your comment, okay? All I have to do is copy the link and I will put them in your comment. This is the stocks above and below their 50 and 200-day moving average. We are still trending up. Obviously, we had a good day in the market, okay? So, guys, breadth looks fantastic. We had a great weekly close last week and a good start to the week. Like, things look good. It's all good, but such a major catalyst coming, I'm going to protect my capital until we have the clarity, okay? I will try not to say that again today, but it's sometimes repetition needs to be heard. Let's just go ahead and jump into some names that I like. ZM, all right, Zoom. It has been on my radar for a little while since somebody brought it to my attention in Bootcamp. I think back here somewhere, right? So I've been watching this thing, and honestly, this was almost on my watch list yesterday, back through the 50. And I just didn't put it there because it's like, hey, look, the trade is above. And so let me make that point, right? Usually for my box breakouts, it's one of my continuation models. 5 out of 6 of my models are continuation models. And I usually use the triple R to enter, but the model comes from a structural shift or repeated patterns in the market, different things, right, that make the models. But usually triple R is the trigger, is the entry. Okay, so this was a triple R, retracement, reaction at around our level, remount of the 50 here on the daily. So I usually, in a box breakout, in a really good clean market, box breakouts, I like to get a quarter size on the triple R below the breakout level. Go quarter size, and my stop would have been right here. That didn't happen because the market environment that we're in, right? Like I'm just not looking to widely add risk at this time. But the point here of a box breakout, it's a measured move, okay? It's my way of saying a measured move is what I expect to come from this. And this does happen more often than not in the leaders, okay? I know this isn't currently a leader, but what I am saying is a measured move is I expect that we will see the price range of the box happen to the upside or the downside. But this is a bullish breakout, right? So we're looking at upside price action. I'm looking for the price range of the box to repeat within the time of the box, okay? So it's a measured move, right? I'm over explaining it. That is a measured move. And yeah, what I'm suggesting here is if we break out and confirm on this box, what I am suggesting here is that we're very likely to get back up into the 115 level for Zoom, okay, as long as the market environment can stay stable, all those things. So what do I need to do? I need to make sure that the market environment is stable. That's why I'm waiting. You know, what I said in the beginning with the SPY and everything, let's let the market break out, confirm, get legs. I know I said I wouldn't say it again, but it's what I'm waiting for. I want this to break out, pull back, and hold the box. If it does that, by that time, the market will very likely be clear, or the market reacts poorly to earnings, tech rolls, and this thing's probably going to roll right back into its range. So the triple R protects me. Another way of eliminating that fear. That's what my models have done. That's what waiting for confirmation does, is I don't fear it. It sets the ground rules. I have something to risk off of, right? Or because I'm waiting for the pullback to retrace, react, and remount. If that doesn't happen, then that would mean that this move failed, right? And then I never got into it. I'm protected. So yeah, there's no fear there, right? I'm looking for the first triple R after this box breakout because we broke out of the box, we confirmed, great close. The next triple R is going to be very attractive. I don't care if it's right here. I don't care if it's all the way up here. The next triple R coming out of this range is going to very likely get my risk, okay? It will also very likely mean that the market reacted positively, at least the tech side of the market, right? This is a software company, right? Yeah, it has to be. Yeah, this is a software company, okay? So that's not a very good looking ETF right now. We also need that to invalidate. Why don't we go ahead and touch on that really quickly here, right? This is the software ETF. This is nasty. I got all these lines in here. I was talking to Bootcamp earlier, but this is what I need to see out of software to the upside. All right, I need it to change character. It's testing the bottom of its range. If software breaks out to the downside of this box, of this consolidation zone, and confirms, software is going lower. Okay, so the bullish scenario is we have this structure, this technical structure. So I want it to get above it, build, and confirm. If it does that, how many times have I been showing you these changing characters? That would be a changing character. I've been showing you this a lot lately. That is confirmation right here on a changing character. Let it change character, pull back, hold it, and confirm, and push higher again. Resume the trend after the changing character. That's what we want to see. If that aligns with timing on Zoom, triple Ring, high probability, okay? Free money. So that's an idea there for Zoom. Another one that I like, guys, is crowd, and I do like this sector. Let's look at this on the weekly. I really like the cybersecurity sector, but look at this thing's ability to hold structure, right? It pushes, it pulls back, holds structure here on the weekly, retriggers. This is a triple R on the weekly, money printer. Maybe we're getting another one, okay? So, there was another one right here. You wouldn't have been in this move. You wouldn't have been trying to get long on this little pop-up because we were right in the middle of a nasty bear market, right? So this was when the market bottomed out. There were bottoming signals. I took net in this move right here on its trigger. Let's look at it. Boom, right there is where I took net. I took this, this was done before I marked my trades. I used to mark my trades with this yellow line, my entry points, right? I took this triple R on net right here. The red line was a little bit lower before it got so vertical. I took this triple R trigger right here. Same trade, guys. Who cares? Okay, let's talk about what's happening now. Okay, we might be getting another retracement reaction at around our level. It's not breaking structure currently, right? So a reaction at around the 50, making a higher low, re-triggering over the 9. This is attractive if we get that push out of the market. Okay, and software doing what I just talked about as well. Software is sitting on a cliff, so I'm not going to guess. I need software to confirm, and I need the markets to confirm. SkyT is another one that I want to keep on watch here. Let's look at the daily. This is looking to put in an IPO cycle, so usually I like to get a quarter size, just like what I explained about box breakouts. Usually I like to get a quarter size in here, but what I've decided, I'm just showing you guys some ideas. These aren't all today trades. I told you why, but this guy is on the radar. If it does break out, pull back, hold, and confirm, very, very high up on my list of interest for a triple R above this IPO breakout zone. One that looks very similar, or one that is very similar in that idea. This is more mid-range of its IPO cycle, so we're just looking for a continuation, the next continuation on it. But this is a weekly trigger here on Frog, which it did trigger yesterday. It's unfortunate that I'm not looking to add too much risk right now until we get that clarity, but we're gonna have to watch here. Maybe we have to roll this over and get a daily trigger. We'll see, okay? If this can hang out and daily trigger while the whole market and software and everything seems to be looking better, fantastic. But if not, then just let it go on its run and give us our next triple R, okay? So we're never missing things. We still have to set a precedence on proper timing. We want the momentum of the market behind our positioning. We're not missing anything. We're waiting for a more probable opportunity. And then Rocket is another one we talked about yesterday, where current administration is pushing the affordability narrative. Mortgages have a lot to do with that. So if they can get the rates down and the mortgage rates down, people will refinance, right? This is not a new idea. If this guy can hold structure and retrigger over the 9, then it's pretty attractive. And we got KTOS, another one we did mention yesterday, but it pulled right back into structure. If it can react off of this level and retrigger over the 9, that would be fantastic. But hopefully it'll wait. Hopefully it waits for our clarity in the market to where we're a bit more aggressive. It's okay if it pulls back a little bit more. It's fine. And then we're just looking for the triple R trigger when it happens, hoping to align that with good timing in the market. INTC is one that is actually pretty high up on my radar. I know this looks like a nasty move coming off of earnings. Let's look at SMH. That's holding up That makes me like it slightly less, right? Because it's not like SMH was rolling over, which was adding pressure to this. This is a poor reaction thus far, a poor reaction to the earnings release out of Intel, okay? But it doesn't negate the fact that the government is backing this company. It doesn't negate the fact that it has not broken structure. It's simply a retracement. We're looking for a reaction at around our level. What are our levels? Well, at least above recent swing low, maybe somewhere around the 50. Okay, you have this prior to all-time high it could react at, but a re-trigger back over the 9 on INTC, that if it doesn't break structure, I'm pretty likely to take that. I really wanted this one. I didn't take it. I took the UUUU position instead. But guys, this is on my radar. Okay, I'm going to be watching that. And we also have a gap down reversal trigger that could initiate along with it. So maybe we get in on triple R model. Another one of my models is gap down reversal. All right, so maybe we can stack the models there, which I do like to do whenever it's possible. And CCL is the last one that we can look at here today. And then I want to jump into a couple sectors pretty quickly. CCL is one that I've been talking about. It's putting in this massive range ever since the COVID sell-off. Top end of this range, I don't think I'll do the quarter sizer, but I did just explain this, right? I typically do like to get a quarter size. It didn't break structure, right? Reacting off of our 50. So if you want to do a quarter sizer here back over the 9, pretty tight stop on that, right? I'm talking about quarter size of a single unit, right? Like very small position, starter. But the trade here is letting this guy break out and confirm first triple R after that is on my radar for what looks like it could be a pretty significant move. If leisure is still looking good, right, we can look over at consumer discretionary ETF to get a bit of a gauge on the leisure sector. I'm sure there's an ETF for it. Let's look at it. Leisure. Yeah, this one might work. Okay. Yeah. So, if this guy can break out to all-time highs at the same time that CCL position is triple Ring, that's working with the momentum of the market. So jumping into a couple of ideas and sectors I want to talk about. I had something come across my radar today, and I haven't thought about this in a while, but I saw some tweet about honeybees, stings, or venom cure cancer cells in 60 seconds, like a crazy headline. Like, I don't know the validity in that, right? I'm not a scientist. I'm not tracking that world at all. Crazy headline. But it just made me think that, like, I've seen some headlines in the last couple of years. Like, I saw something about an Australian group of scientists using the word curing cancer like a year or two ago. I'm not surprised I never heard anything about it again. Maybe it was invalid. Okay. And then you're hearing about this Russian cancer vaccine that now China is adopting, right? Like, okay, is AI going to help us cure cancer? Is that happening? Right? I don't know. But I'm starting to see this more and more. Is this a narrative play? My 6 model, the one where I like to speculate a bit, but I still need structure to risk off of. But I look for certain things. I look for a narrative. I look for changes in character. I look for accumulation before the move, okay? Wall Street, I want them to know about this before me. Right? I want them to position because that's what I can see. So it made me think. It made me go, wait a minute, I have a multiomic sequencing watch list that I made a little while back. And I don't know, I certainly cannot explain to you what multiomic sequencing is, right? I have a very basic understanding, but I'm pretty sure that they're involved or maybe advancing cancer research. I think that's an element of what multiomic sequencing is. So it made me think of this list that I had, and I was saying in chat earlier, I'm going to go look at this list, and I bet I see accumulation. Well, first one that I click on, like, this is a leader. Why the hell haven't I been looking at this? Okay, that's a leader that needs to be on watch. And then looking over the weekly here, where it's a little bit easier to spot accumulation, I don't really see it here on this chart. I'm not going to front, right? I don't really see it. So I started clicking through. Well, I see some there. You got some bottoming formation, some clear accumulation showing up here in the volume. And what are we doing? What are some things we've been talking about a lot lately? We're trying to change character here. So if that happens, what do you think I'm looking for? The first triple R after a confirmation of changing character. For me, the changing character is a break of technical trend. All right, we've broken out, but we're just going right up into the 200. So I also needed to get above that, retrace, react at around the level, and re-trigger, that would be confirmation on a changing character that you can play. It's the first triple R after changing character. All right, stuff that I spent a good amount of time on the live session on Saturday. Guys, come to those, okay? warrensacks@gmail.com. Tell me you want to come. I'll send you a live link. It's not a pitch. It's not a webinar. Straight up analysis, okay? It is worth your time. I promise you. Anyways, guys, let me just finish this point. We don't need to spend too much time on it. I am seeing accumulation here on these charts, clearly, all right? And these things are trying to change character on the dailies, on the weeklies, whatever it may be. Let's do one day here. Here's, what do we see here? What do you guys think I'm gonna say? Changing character, boom. First triple R right there after worked. But what I wanna ask here is there anybody watching this that knows more than me about cancer research? Any names? Comment below. Tell me what you see, what you know. I did ask you guys in Bootcamp to help me research this a little bit, right? Is there a narrative here? There's some accumulation and multiomic sequencing, all right? Can we roll that into anything else? What am I missing? What's out there? Is this a narrative that is something we can spot and maybe get involved with, right? The healthcare sector has been hot. What's going on? What's going on? Are people going to start announcing cancer cures? I mean, that's a major market and catalyst, right? So, yeah, I don't know. Let's see if we got something here. If anyone knows more than me about the sector, the subject, maybe names involved, I would love to hear from you. Comment below. To wrap all of this up, I want to end on resources because we had a bit of a down day in resources yesterday, a bit of a sell the news event out of resources. So things were running up into it, a bit of the sell the news event. Okay, this is a good thing. These things were running away. We need them to retrace and do what? Hold structure and remount. We need a retracement. So don't think that resources is off of my radar, off of one down day. Like, give me a break, guys. I'm glad there was a pullback. I hope it continues a little bit more, right? Let these things get down below the 9, react off of levels and re-trigger, reinitiate trend, okay? Look at this. It's just pulling right into structure, right into the 50. If it can react off of it and re-trigger, come on, guys. This might be a good opportunity. Look at this. Retracement. Let's see if we get a reaction above this swing low, aligning right there with the 50. And if we can curl back up and re-trigger, it's on watch. We'll see how we feel about the resources market at that time. Because we need pullbacks, okay? These things are running away from us. We want them to retrace, react, and remount. That is the triple R. That is when we can leverage some probabilities in the resources sector. And that rolls over to space as well. Let's look at RKLB. Another one, like, it's running away from us. We need an entry, so let it pull back. What do we think? Pull back into the prior all-time high area. Anything holding above this swing low would be a retracement, reaction, and a remount that we can look to get ourselves into the space sector if the markets still look hot broadly. But I don't think the space sector heat is going anywhere. I think it's likely to continue the more that they talk about this over $1 trillion IPO out of SpaceX, right? This is where sympathy plays come from, right? Think about like quantum computing. Like, a couple people said the word quantum, and then all of a sudden companies that were doing like $1 million a year were valued at 30 billion in 3 months. Like, what the fuck? like that got crazy. But I sort of the same idea here in space, guys. You know what? I'm saying too much. Pullbacks are healthy. Okay, so I love that the space sector is pulling back. I love that resources is pulling back. Emerging markets is still pretty hot. We still got to wait for a pullback here in emerging markets, right? This is a major, like 17-year breakout level that it's testing right here. So we got to pump the brakes a little bit more here on emerging markets before we get our next entry. But I think that's it. I think that's good for the day. Again, one last time, thank you guys. I'm so glad that I turned this camera on, and I appreciate all of you, every single one of you watching, subscribing. Of course, y'all in Bootcamp, you know I love you. You know I'm here for you. Stay safe, manage your risks. Let's go make some money. I'll see you soon.